want to try and get through this, a little quick, but, still try and hit the points for each film. Since, last week's didn't go the way I planned, I feel like I kind of spent a little too much time uh, for that stream, which came out to an hour and a half. So, try and hit like half hour for the stream. Uh, Half hour, 45 minutes at most. So, the films I'm going to be talking about today are Halloween from 2018, which is a direct sequel to the original from 1978. Then we're going to be talking about Leprechaun, then Hotel Transylvania, then Monster Inc., then Friday the 13th, then Predator, and lastly, Hotel Transflania 2. Hey Merle, how are you doing today? But yeah, for some of these, I feel like this stream will go a little quicker than last week since I try to condense as much as possible down for each film. So, yeah, there's that. So, right, so let's start off with uh, talk about Halloween, which was released in 2018. And again, this one is a direct sequel to the 1978 original. Uh, I'm right. Yeah. How about you? Right, so let's see. We begin the film at an institution where Michael has been for the past 40 years. He's being prepared for transfer to a maximum security prison due to, the killing spree he had done in the original 1978 film. Uh, then podcasters Aaron Corey, and Dana Haynes visit the institution hospital where Michael is at, and during their encounter with Michael, Aaron displays the mask Michael wore in 1978. That goes without much interaction from Michael. Well, while being transferred the next day, Michael crashes the bus he is in while also killing a father and a son to get their car. He then returns to Haddonfield. In Haddonfield, Laurie Strode is, still living in fear of Michael, and she heavily drinks. Uh, she alienates herself from Karen, uh, who is her daughter, and she was taken away at the age of 12. The only person Lori keeps contact with is Allison, who is Karen's daughter. Now we move to the morning of the 31st. So on the morning of Halloween, or October 31st, Michael sees Aaron and Dana visiting Judith's grave. Judith is Michael's sister, and I believe she was the very first kill in the original Halloween film, if I remember correctly. Then he then follows Aaron and Dana to a gas station where he kills them both as well as a mechanic for his coveralls. before, retrieving his old mask from Aaron's car. Now, Deputy Frank Hawking, who arrested Michael in 1978, tries to convince Sheriff Barkey. Uh, I believe I may have done a typo, but I just quickly, typed this up today. So it's quite possible I did a couple of typos for, character names and whatnot. But just kind of reading why I got as well. So sorry if I, mess anything up. It's just because, again, I just kind of quickly typed all of this before I started streaming and uh, didn't really have much time to go back through and edit since I just want to try and stream today. So, yeah. But let me continue on. Deputy Frank Hawking tries to convince Sheriff Barkey about Michael's danger after learning that Michael has escaped. Lori also learns about the escape and tries to warn Karen, but she dismisses Lori's concerns. Later on that night, Allison finds Cameron, who is her boyfriend, cheating on her. Allison's best friend, Vicky, and Dave are attacked by Michael while they are babysitting a boy named Julian. Vicky sacrifices herself to protect Julian. Then Deputy Hawkins and Lori overhear the incident on the radio and go over to the house. And a little typo here, I accidentally typed hose instead of house. So, goes showing that I do make some mistakes as well. So everything isn't perfect. Now, Lori sees Michael, and this is this is the first time they come face to face in 4 years. Again, because, this is a direct sequel to the original film. So that was kind of like the mindset throughout this film. Just be like, we're just gonna ignore all the sequels that came out after the original film. Gonna also ignore the remake and its sequel, which were released in 2007 and 2009. And I thought that was kind of a pretty interesting idea. Alright, then, with that, I'll get back to this, getting a little off track. But Lori then shoots Michael in the shoulder, but he only flees away at that point. Now, Dr. Reindeer, who is Michael's psychiatrist, persuades Sheriff Barker, yeah, it's Sheriff Barker, that that's probably what the typo was, a minute ago. Sheriff Barker, not, Barkey. My correction with that. But, he's trying to be persuaded to help in, the hunt for Michael. Then, Michael finds and kills Oscar, who was on his way home from a party. Then Hawkins and Sartarian, who is, Dr. Reindeer's last name, arrive in time to rescue Allison. Hawkins attempts to kill Michael, but Saracen who now has become obsessed with, uh, Michael's motions of, how he moves, gets attacks and leaves Hawkins for dead. And now we're just heading to the conclusion of the movie now. Michael drives the dead officer's car to Lori's house, where she and Karen have met with Allison. When Lori's son-in-law Ray goes outside to greet who he believes are the two officers, Michael strangles them to death. Lori gets Karen to safety, and Lori severely injures Michael since they're now in a little fight scene. Uh, but Michael stabs her in the abdomen and pushes her over a balcony. Uh, Michael goes to check Lori's body, but he finds that it is now missing. So classic, horror movie thing right there, uh, where character thinks that someone or something is there when they just saw them, but they're no longer there. Then they end up shooting uh, Michael in the jaw and eventually getting him into the house and setting that house on fire with Michael inside. Now, that is where the movie ends, but a post-credit scene uh, shows uh, a final shot in the basement where Michael is nowhere in sight. Well, I mean, I got that wrong, but that was the final shot of the movie where he is nowhere to be found in the basement while, it's the house is still on fire. Now, in the post-credit scene, Michael is heard breathing, which uh, indicates that he must have survived, and I assume this is where we pick up at for Halloween Kills, which was just released yesterday, and again, I would like to try and go see that movie sometime, but not really sure when. And yeah, that is the end of Halloween, which was released in 2018. And I see there's going to be another Halloween film release next year called Halloween Ends. It was originally supposed to come out uh, this year, but it was pushed back due to, the whole global pandemic, along with, a ton of other movies as well that were supposed to be released this year. Yeah, it seemed like a pretty, decent movie in my opinion. And, you know, if there's no further comments uh, about this film, I will move on to Leprechaun now, which was released in 1993. And uh, Leprechaun is probably one of my favorite movie series out there. Well, horror, you know, series or franchises out there. Uh, I I've seen the six films with Warwick Davis, but I haven't seen the two films that were, released this past decade, but I should, watch them. Uh, Even if they're, not as great as, people say. Alright, so in 1983, Daniel Gray returns to his home in North Dakota from a trip to, from uh, Ireland, where he stole the pot of gold from a leprechaun he interrogated. Uh, he buries the gold, and, when he comes in the house, he finds that the leprechaun has followed them and killed his wife. Uh, O'Grady uses a four-leaf clover to suppress the leprechaun's powers, and he uh, traps him, traps the leprechaun in a crate. Uh, and before O'Grady can burn the leprechaun alive, uh, yeah, but before he can burn the leprechaun, I did a little typo here. Uh, O'Grady has a stroke, so he is unable to kill the leprechaun. Now, 10 years later, J.D. Redding and his daughter, Tori, who is played by a young Jennifer Aniston, and I believe it was her debut film as well. Uh, they rent the O'Grady farmhouse for the summer. Now, contract worker uh, Nathan Murphy and his 10-year-old brother Alex and their friend Ozzy Jones come help to repaint the farmhouse and uh, whatnot. Now Ozzy goes in the house and hears the leprechaun coming from the basement, which he thinks is just a little kid calling out for help, since he can disguise his voice here in the first film to pretend he's someone else. Then, with this, it causes Ozzy to bend over, well, lean on the crate and knock off that clover O'Grady had put on it, causing the leprechaun to bust out of the crate and, harass Ozzy. Then Ozzy runs away, screams for help, and everyone goes into the basement and they find nothing. Right. Now, at the farm, uh, later on in a few minutes later, at the farm, the leprechaun pretends to be a cat, and he scratches Tori, who she thinks is, um, shoot, who she thinks is, uh, Nathan, since she kind of likes them in a way. And then uh, they head to a hospital while the leprechaun follows them, and while Ozzy and Alex a little earlier have found some gold and go their separate way to a pawn shop and try and pawn it off. Uh, Leprechaun comes to the pawn shop and uh, kills Joe, who is a man in the shop, and he then leaves in a small go kart. The Leprechaun gets pulled over and kills the officer after a kind of a lengthy chase scene. Now, returning to the farmhouse, they get a shotgun and shoot the leprechaun several times, uh, but it has no effect on him. They try to leave, but the truck engine has been sabotaged by the leprechaun, of course. Uh, and Ozzy and Alex reveal that he wants his gold back since they have found it. Now, going to the nursing home, just skipping ahead a little bit, uh, Tori goes there where O'Grady is supposed to be, uh, but the leprechaun pretends to be him since in this first film, he can pretend to be people and disguise his voice to be others as well. But uh, soon after, the actual O'Grady is thrown into uh, the top of an elevator. Uh, Tori runs into after being chased by the Leprechaun and eventually is killed in the elevator due to blood loss. But before he dies, well, before O'Grady dies, he tells Tori to uh, he tells Tori that the only way to kill the leprechaun is by using a four-leaf clover. Now, after a long scene at the farmhouse trying to uh, defeat the leprechaun, Alex shoots a gumwad with a clover in it in the leprechaun's mouth, and the leprechaun falls into the wall at the farmhouse. Then his skeleton comes up saying, "I want me gold! I want my gold!" Then Nathan pushes the leprechaun back into Thrall and sets it on fire with gas. Then eventually they are the cops come out, check on them, and whatnot, and this is the end of the film. Yeah. Now, I mean, well, being the first film, it wasn't, too bad of a film, but uh, the second film, that that one did horrible in the box office, which is why, the third film through the sixth film were all released direct to DVD, since uh, you know, of that, of how horrible the second film did in the box office. But yeah, I'd say my favorite uh, films out of the Leprechaun series has to be either the third film, the fifth film, or the sixth film. Uh, I I feel like the third one is kind of decent with its plot, and also because it's in Vegas, so you get some shots of uh what Vegas looks like in the 90s. Then I liked the fifth and sixth films mainly because they seem to have the best acting in them, and also they kind of have some decent kills in there as well as some good jokes. All right, so if there's no further comments upon this film, I'll move on to Hotel Transylvania. And why I kind of find funny is that uh, these films star Warwick Davis, and I believe I know he's done some other movies here and there, but uh, all those films were low budget, and I kind of find funny, one of the other roles he had was in uh, a Harry Potter film. I can't recall which film, but I know he was in one of those films as well, and those are kind of decent films. Uh, and it's just kind of funny seeing going from like low budget films to something that has a little more of a budget. All right, so next up is Hotel Transflania, which was released in 2012. So, with as many times as I've seen this, I'll try and keep it short, while trying to keep the plot of the movie in here. So, yeah, this one I have, really short, but, I'll try to sum it up, and if I have to, maybe add a little more to it. But Dracula runs a hotel, and he lives there with his daughter, Mavis. Daughter, I mean, Dracula doesn't want any humans in his hotel, uh, since he still believes that humans hate monsters, even though times have changed. Uh, you know, over the opening scene, I believe was like 17 or 1800s. Uh, but Dracula is there with his friends as well, being the Invisible Man, Frankenstein, Wayne, and Murray, along with their you know wives and kids and whatnot. Uh, Now, in this first film, Murray is played by Seal Green, whereas the second and third, right, so got that little interruption. Donut? Well, while I'm here, oh, it looks like two got stuck to the top, but let's see what's even in here. Yeah, of course, two got stuck. And now I messed up the box. Looks like the two that got stuck up here are more of, like the chocolate and strawberry, topped with sprinkles and whatnot. Now, if I can manage to get this closed. Alright, so got a little on my finger. You wanna look? But yeah, what I was saying was, in the first film, uh, Well, might as well have one here in a minute. But as I was saying, uh, in the first film, Murray was played by CeeLo Green, and in the second and third films, uh, the role will be uh, given to Keegan Michael Key, who has previously, worked in some other Am Sandler films up to, this point in 2012. But then uh, Dracula lets Mavis go out for uh, 118th birthday, and during this, Johnny, who is a human, comes in. Then Johnny and Mavis zing, or feel like connected to each other, and over the film, uh, they get feelings for each other, but Dracula doesn't want him to, tell her that he's actually a human and has feelings for her and whatnot. And trying to recall the chef's name. And trying to recall the chef's name, but he comes out, says Johnny is a human. Right then. Eventually, Johnny tells her, he is a human, kind of hurts her feelings, but makes up for it, and uh, he does, and, they still love each other in then. So that's then of that film. Kind of summed up quickly. I believe I have. Alright, so now on to Monsters Inc. Another film I've seen tons of time, but we'll try to keep it short again, just for, time. So, in the city of uh, Monstropolis, everything is powered by screens. Energy production is falling because children are becoming less scared of monsters, and Henry J. Waternoose the third, uh, who is the CEO, is determined to find a solution to this problem. Now, James P. Sullivan finds a door left uh, on the floor one night. He opens it and finds the girl, uh, who eventually comes into the factory. And I'll say it right now, but uh, so it can be easier through the rest of this little summary. Eventually, Mike and Sully call her Boo. Uh, Now, Randall is suspicious after this encounter, as Mike and Sully have to, try and hire and try and get her back into the human world, and tons of problems turn up throughout the film, and eventually they end up disguising her as a baby monster. Randall, kind of like tries to foil their plan and ends up kidnapping Mike. Then eventually, Warnoose says he was the one behind all of it, and sends Sully off to the Himalayas while keeping Boo with him. And eventually, Sully returns and saves Boo from the Scream Extractor. Mike comes to help since Randall is there causing some issues, fighting with Sully and whatnot. And Mike and Sully, find her door, you know, and have to let her go after, talking to her for a minute, saying she has to stay there. Then they just return, back to their normal lives. And at the end of the film, uh, Sully, gets the door and opens it one last time to Cebu. And that is the end of the film for Monsters Inc. It has been some time since I have seen this film, but it is a decent, Disney movie. Probably one of my favorites. Alright, so now I'm going to be moving on to Friday the 13th, which was released in 1980. Right, so in 1958, at Crystal Lake, counselors Barry Jackson and Claudette Hayes sneak into a storage cabin to have sex where an unseen assailant comes and murders them. And uh, I'd like to point out here that a bunch of these, kills are during, sex scenes. Uh, it's just a thing with this film franchise. Uh, it seems like uh, out of all the films, a good majority of them have to be, when, the characters are getting ready or even doing that. And that that's kind of what they're based around. I feel like as well. Just come on, let's do it. Let's uh, you know, yeah. I don't really know where I'm going with that now, but uh, but a little fake laugh too. I got it's all fake news, fake news. But yeah, again, I feel like the majority of these kills, just revolve around the characters, having sex and whatnot. But there are some kills where, that is not involved. But hey, 21 years later, camp counselor Annie Phillips is, driven halfway to reopen camp and is, kind of left in town. Uh, and there are warning signs from one of the locals, Crazy Ralph. Then throughout this whole movie, the counselors are basically killed off one by one or even in pairs because, again, of sex. Uh, and again, which I won't get into great detail about since I'm just trying to sum this movie up and sum it up as quickly as possible with, touching on plot. Then eventually we meet this Mrs. Voorhees, who is Jason's mom. She talks about Jason's death at camp. He drowned in the lake while some counselors were supposed to be watching him. They were having sex instead. And eventually, there is a reveal that she was the murderer the whole time. And Alice and her get into a fight. Uh, Decapitation of Mrs. Voorhees. She gets killed by a machete, and after this kill, kind of like uh, messes with uh, Alice and whatnot. But that is where the film ends. Now I'm moving on to Predator. Now, in here, a spacecraft deploys a shuttle to Earth. Vietnam War veteran Major Dutch and his military rescue team, Mac Elliott, George Pancho Ramirez, Blaine Cooper, Billy Soul, and Rick Hawkins are tasked with rescuing a foreign cabinet minister and his aide. En route, the team discovers wreckage and three skinned corpses. They are identified as Green Berets. Now, just save a little bit of time, just gonna skip ahead a little bit, since again don't wanna keep it as long as last week's stream. But they're being hunted or watched uh, by an unknown creature and are being killed off. Then the remaining crew makes, a camp for its night, and eventually, skipping ahead even further, there is a standoff between Dutch and the Predator. The Predator uh, eventually self destructs, and Dutch hurries up and finds way to be safe, and he is eventually rescued. And now head on to the last film, Hotel Transflania 2. Again, I'll try and keep this one short, as I've seen this one several times as well. So, essentially, Mavis and Johnny get married. They end up having a kid who they'll call Dennis. As Dennis is coming to be age of 5, that means he is supposed to get his fangs, and Dracula is concerned about it. During this time, Mavis considers moving to California with Johnny, since that's where he used to live, and they wanted to would try to give Dennis a more normal childhood, but essentially Johnny doesn't want to leave the hotel. Now, when headed to California, Dracula tells Johnny that he'll watch Dennis. Dracula and his gang wind up at a camp uh, Dracula used to go to and see that it changed a lot. He then pushes Dennis off a very tall tower to see if he, can fly, but Dennis is unable to. Mavis eventually finds out through the internet and wants to return home, which they do, and they then have a birthday party for Dennis. Uh, they want to invite Vlad, who is Dracula's father, but Dracula does not want to, since of how much Vlad hates humans. But eventually, Vlad comes, kind of gets mad, and Dennis gets his fangs. So kind of like where movie ends somewhat. But there's all that. Alright, so that is all films from this week. I know some of them may have felt like a little rush, but I was just wanting to try and keep the time down since, uh, again, I was on here a little longer than expected last week. So I'm like, I gotta find a way to try and tone it down a little while, you know, still hang on the main points and, you know, making sure it's decent time length as well, since, uh, you know, I know uh, some of the stuff I say doesn't make as much sense, but, uh, yeah, as long as you get a point of it, uh, alright, so, I'll definitely come back next week. I guess a little more prepared, or attempt to, but I guess I'll have one of these for now. You guys want a bite? Uh, uh, yeah, I'm even asking people who come here for the stream replay as well. You know, if you guys that are here now want a bite, let me know. Or if you guys are here in the future, just let me know down below in the comment section. And you can have a little part of this donut. Yeah, I suppose. Well, I'm giving this little part to you guys, which, I'll, uh, I'll eat for you guys too. Just know that, it's good. Well, just turn into, like a little discussion stream to an eating stream now. That's actually a decent idea. Maybe one video I'll sit here and eat something. Maybe try something new if I haven't, tried it before. Since I know people do those types of videos like reaction to uh, new products or things they haven't tried before. So might as well look around a little bit, find anything, and yeah. Yeah, kind of seems pretty decent. I'm sure, someone out there uh, is interested in this sort of, well, that sort of thing, like different uh, reviews of what people think about, a certain new products or uh, food or whatever. Alright, so yeah, so this one looks like cream filled. Not sure what type, but gonna find out here shortly. I might do this like cut this part of the stream out. Make it its own little video. Cause why not? Yeah, it just kind of tastes like a little basic cream in here, but nothing special. Uh, I know some places do like their own special things for Halloween and whatnot, but I'm not really sure if they do like. Well, honestly, I don't even know what all things places do for days like Halloween. You know, Yeah, those are pretty decent movies. Haven't watched haven't watched one in full length, but I've seen videos about them here online, so I might have to watch them sometime. Right. Right, so we'll probably hang on here for just a few more minutes, but if you guys don't really want to, talk about really much of anything else, uh, I'm gonna get ready to end the live stream here. Probably, well, might as well end it when it hits an hour, which will be in 3 minutes. Alright, but yeah, I wanna try and go out and see Halloween Kills again, which was, just released yesterday. Well, at least here in the States. Right, so, Brawl Stars, uh, it's honestly, uh, my favorite, mobile game at the time being. Uh, and coming up in a couple of weeks, it will be 4 years since I've been playing this game. I know I've said it before in a couple of my videos, but uh, I've been playing since beta, so gotta see, I gotta see a decent amount of it. I don't think really much happened between June of 2017 and the beginning of November 2017 when I started playing. Maybe except, a couple new brawlers and balance changes and whatnot. But a lot has changed in that, like, year. Uh, you know, I uh, did, I started, November 2017 through global release in December 2018. A ton of things. Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. A lot has changed. Uh, I I especially love some of the upgrade systems and whatnot, and some of the other features that have been in the game. So tickets, those were a thing to play um, the special events each week, but eventually were given up so everyone could enter them for free. But I kind of liked some anyway, since you could, you know, for certain events you could bet a certain amount of tickets and to eventually gain more rewards quicker. But it's all change. I do like the pass system though, since you do get a little more, but it's not like the same as a previous system where like if you get 10 10 tokens, uh you get uh a brawl box, whereas if you got like 10 tokens, which were, just like, I believe just playing in winning event, if you got 10 of those, you uh, got um, a mega box. But now it's a little more out there where we can get mega boxes as well through the pass instead of having to get them through Trophy Road or purchasing them with gems through the shop. Well, I'll be back in a moment. But yeah, I'll probably be hopping on there after, the stream. But I don't know what I want to do. So I'll probably leave it like this. And, you guys can always talk to me in Discord and whatnot. So with that being said, uh, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, and thank you for coming out. And my next live stream will most likely be on Friday. Uh, I might do some live reactions songs this upcoming Friday. Then, if I can, I'll try to stream again next Saturday, but I don't know if they'll work out. So, uh, again, thank you for coming, uh, being here, and I will see you all next time.